Hello everybody out there and welcome to this, another edition of a late night Scream Review, and this time we're looking at Walt Disney's The Haunted Mansion. Or is it just Haunted Mansion?
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
You ready to have your mind blown?
We have 999 happy haunts, but there's room for more. We could be trapped here forever, which offers you this chilling challenge.
Is anybody else seeing this?
To find a way out.
I can show you, but it will cost you $3.
What? It's highway robbery.
Who said that?
Disney's Haunted Mansion, rated PG-13.
So this film was directed by Justin Simien and obviously released in all major theatres across the board now, I think on the 11th of August. I went to see this at my local Cineworld. Obviously, not a massive fan of Cineworld. There's too much red lighting there. It's just a sensory overload. But went to see it with my partner. We went an 8 o'clock showing. So obviously for the kind of opening night. But obviously it's more of a kind of directed towards a family-friendly kids kind of film. We went and there was about 5 other people in the theatre, which for me is a big plus. I like that nice little gap of there's at least some people in the theatre, but there's not too many people in the theatre. It just saves on the chance that you're gonna have a bunch of screaming teenagers or people on the phones all the time. So for me, it was absolutely perfect. So what's this film all about? Well, for those of you that don't know, this film is based on a Walt Disney World theme park ride. Yes, just like Pirates of the Caribbean, it was based on an old haunted house ride, which is still in existence. It's still there. I've never been to Disneyland, but if anybody would like to pay for tickets, but yeah, it's based on an old ride. But what's the story about? So this is a new retelling of that age-old story, the old haunted house flick, which is one of my personal favourites. An upcoming video may be coming, based solely around old dark houses. Just keep your eye open. So the story revolves around a single mum and her son, I think the mum's called Gabby, who move into this old haunted house in New Orleans. It's their kind of last stop after her partner dies. So she has to then hire a tour guide who's been through some trauma himself, a psychic, a scientist, a priest, and something else that I'm forgetting. There's like 5 characters to help rid her of all the ghosts that happen to be in this mansion. Now, there is a big story, there's a big bad, there's a big reason why this mansion is haunted. There's lots of hijinks, very Scooby-Doo-esque hijinks, and everything gets resolved in the end. So what did I think of this film? Well, I went into this movie with low expectations. I mean, for me, it was always going to be a family-friendly movie. It's aimed more towards the kind of Disney kids kind of demographic, and so not really aimed at people like myself. Having said that, though, I really did kind of enjoy this movie. I had sort of low expectations. It's a family-friendly film, but it has horror elements, and I kind of like those films. It's sometimes nice when you're like me and you only go really to see horror films, that you go to see a film that's a bit more lighter than your average horror fare. So I kind of was into it on that level alone. For me, it was fun. I think the characters were good. The couple of the kind of main focus characters had engaging stories. They were well performed. There was some good tear-jerking scenes from certain, like a couple of the main cast, which was more than I expected, to be honest. There were some really fun laughs, especially with Danny DeVito's character and Owen Wilson's character. They were kind of 2 highlights. The other 2 main characters were Ben, played by Lakeith Stanfield, who was really good, brilliant actor, really emoted, actually nearly made me shed a tear, which is a lot to say. And also the main character of Gabby, who was the mum, played by Rosario Dawson. She's always good. So they were great. I really enjoyed the story. It was just kind of, it was paint by numbers, but it was, it did what it needed to do. So again, nothing new here in any stretch of the imagination. Lots of old haunted house iconography, candelabra moving around, woo, noises, silly ghost effects, a la, Ghostbusters, kind of very bright, colourful, well done up ghosts. A lot of CGI, and I think they could have probably done a lot more practical work. Again, I'm always a fan of practical. I still think we're still relying far too much on CGI, although I understand why. Again, if a lot more of this had been practical, it would have been a lot more fun, in my personal opinion. But having said that, again, very simple story, did what it needed to do. I think my only real complaints about the movie is that it's a bit too long. Again, I guess just to kind of make it worth going to the cinema experience, these films tend to be getting longer now, when this film could have been a really nice, clean 90 minutes, maybe even a little bit shorter, God forbid. But if it would have just been a bit tighter, it would have been a lot more kind of enjoyable for me. There were some pacing issues, so like towards the end and the last third of the movie, it was kind of dragging a little bit in certain places, and you know, we kind of knew where the story was going, so it just needed to get there. I think a couple of things got left unresolved. There's loads of stories going on because there's loads of different ghosts who have different backstories, and some of them get resolved and some of them don't. And I think one of the main ghosts doesn't have their story resolved, which I thought was a bit strange. But unless there was a post-credit sequence, because me and my girlfriend left before the end of the credits because we had a parking thing, so it didn't matter. So we might have missed it, but in that case, it should have been in the movie. And again, it seemed like quite a long movie. But again, I recommend this movie if you've got kids and you want to do a family day to the cinema. Definitely go see this movie because it's got something that everybody can enjoy. There's funny performances, there's emotional performances. All the characters are really, really well kind of plotted out amongst themselves. There's 5 main characters and they all work off each other, I think, pretty well. So if you're a horror fan but you want something a bit lighter, or you might even want to introduce younger kids to horror, this is a film to go and see. It's fun. It's just fun. It's a good laugh. And like I say, apart from a couple of little issues, which in major cinema these days you can't really complain when you've only got a couple of little issues, I think it's a really well-made, fun experience. So yeah, it's a recommend from me. It's not a high recommend, but it is a recommend from me. And that's it for my review of Walt Disney's Haunted Mansion. What I also just want to interject here is that I was really also looking forward to seeing The Last Flight of the Demeter, which was the Dracula movie. But apparently it's been cancelled. It's been the release date's been shelved in England, which I'm really gutted about. I think the distributors need to get their finger out. And Universal, what are you doing? Can you sort this out, please? Because I was really looking forward to seeing that. Massive Dracula fan. And was gutted that I couldn't have a double feature this weekend. So I was going to see The Haunted Mansion and Flight of the Demeter, but I couldn't, and not happy about that, but there we are. If anybody knows why, or can give me more information, please comment below. If you're a fan of the show, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. We really want to build the community, and we want to do more content, but we need your help to do it, so you need to do that subscription button down below, please. But until then, stay safe, stay scared, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.